People, it's no secret that Overwatch 2's lifespan as a game has been tumultuous, to say the least. Ever since transitioning from Overwatch 1 into Overwatch 2, and even for years before that, the Overwatch devs seem to simply make boneheaded decision after boneheaded decision that sometimes seriously makes me wonder if these people have fucking bricks for brains. Whether it be big things like demolishing the PvE into something much smaller than what they promised and then still charging money for it, or smaller things like randomly removing the commas from the scoreboard. No matter what you hone in on, it often seems like these people are doing all they can to make sure Overwatch 2 falls off the face of the earth. But although it feels like that obviously isn't the case, because if Overwatch went away, they'd stop making that Overwatch money, and we all know that money is the crux of all of this. Not to mention, I'd say that the Overwatch devs have generally been pretty good at responding to player feedback and being transparent about a lot of things that go on with Overwatch 2. They've also kept a solid pace in terms of content and limited time game modes and whatnot. Plus, that content is typically pretty good. And despite the fact that Overwatch 2 has been marred with periodic, idiotic choices, to me it hasn't felt like the devs don't care about the game. What we do get from them typically seems to have an appropriate level of care put into it. However, what comes off as a combination of greed and laziness seems to all too often drive them to see just how much they can get away with. They seem to always be putting out feelers that test our patience in an attempt to find out where the bare minimum is, so that they can just do that and charge as much as we'll tolerate for it. So every time it feels like we're finally on an upswing, they put one of these feelers out and we get some horribly idiotic implementation in the game that severely disappoints and brings down our spirits. Then, inevitably, the devs apologize, maybe remove it, lay low until we think we're on an upswing again, and then they put out another feeler. This cycle is what it feels like we might be doing eternally as Overwatch 2 players, but just maybe, Season 6 will show us that the Overwatch devs have abandoned the bare minimum dream. But when you look at things like the On Fire system being gone until Season 5 of Overwatch 2 and the PvE getting downsized into oblivion, in my mind, those are proof that the Overwatch team just wants to do less and yet retain the same player numbers, engagement, and spending. And if that's not greed, I don't know what is. Also, I think the Overwatch 2 leadership might just have a mild case of the stupids, because some of what they do just makes no sense at all. I mean, God knows what they were doing with those 2 years between Overwatch 1 and 2. Nothing we've gotten from Overwatch or the pace in which we've received it screams that 2 years without any substantial content was completely necessary. And the thing is, because of that, Overwatch 2 is a game that is struggling to get back in the good graces of all but the most dedicated fans. And the problem is, getting back in people's good graces doesn't work while simultaneously trying to see how much they'll let you fuck them over. In an ideal world, the Overwatch devs shouldn't be trying to fuck us over at all, but that's not real, so let me just help them a little. Attention, Overwatch 2 devs. If you want to fuck us over to some degree, which you do, stop testing the waters mid-apology. Just do right by us for a good long while, a nice few seasons, get all the way back in the good graces. Then when you start to fuck us over a little, we say, well, they're usually cool. This is just a little hiccup. And you get a pass. But as it stands now, you're already a fuck up. Why keep testing just how much of a fuck up you can be before we leave? It's a shit strategy. You see, but on the other hand, obviously the devs knew that announcing the terrible PvE news would be a painful hit to their already less than flattering image. But a lack of transparency regarding the matter would have been even more catastrophic. So I feel as though because they cut the original PvE and they have these longer plans for the smaller version, it's possible that they have a more clear vision of what they're capable of. Because what they said when they scrapped the original PvE was that they weren't gonna be able to deliver. And I think them admitting that they just don't have the fucking chops implies that they may actually be better aware of their own abilities now. So the content roadmaps may be getting more accurate, things may begin to move more smoothly, and eventually allow for more and even better content down the line. What I'm saying is, Overwatch could possibly be on the good foot, albeit at the beginning stages. But we've thought this before, only to be met with further disappointment. I think a lot is going to be revealed with Season 6. Season 6 is a very important season for Overwatch. It's Overwatch 2's biggest season so far, and I think it's going to be a very telling one. Season 6 is slated to have the first story missions, which are the downsized PvE remnants. There's also a new core game mode called Flashpoint, so we'll be playing that alongside Escort and Push and whatnot. And of course, Season 6 will have a new hero, the crux of Overwatch content. And there will be a new hero mastery system. So with all this new content, and specifically the new hero and story missions, a lot of eyes are going to be on Overwatch 2. And the devs themselves will be under a lot of scrutiny. And with all these massive content drops in Season 6, Overwatch is taking a huge swing. And a huge swing can land you a home run, or it can just be a huge miss. So I think by the time we get all this content in this upcoming Season 6, the trajectory of the game will be fairly clear, and most people will know pretty firmly if they want to stick around or not. Personally, I'm very hopeful that things look more positive for Overwatch in Season 6, but we'll find out soon enough, you know? I'm coming at it from a sort of an optimistic angle. That's the only reason I'm still here, right? Because Overwatch is, they've done so much bullshit. But I'm still here because I think they can go back up. I think they might return to form. I just want to see, and like I said, I think Season 6 will be very telling. And so once I experience that, I'll let you guys know where I am. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I guess I just wanted to get on here and rant a little. I'll be playing the Overwatch 2 story missions when they release. I'll also have a video about them, so be sure to come back and check that out. But yeah, man, what do you guys think about Overwatch right now? How do you feel about it? I'm only doing all this talking and saying what I say about Overwatch because I like Overwatch and I'm rooting for it, but it's rough out here. So yeah, jump in the comments, tell me how stupid and wrong I am per usual, and until next time, I am Waifu Belector. I am just a normal guy. I like hentai, and I hope the story missions are good. Goodbye.